You're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would you introduce yourself to the jury, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Teresa Samaripa.
And Ms. Samaripa, can you tell us where you live?
I live in Uvalde, Texas.
And how long have you lived there?
28 years.
And are you employed there?
Yes, sir, I am.
Can you tell us who employs you in Uvalde?
I work with the Southwest Texas College Law Enforcement Academy.
Okay. Southwest Texas College?
Yes, sir.
And is it exclusively a law enforcement academy?
It's part of the college. It's one of the programs the college offers.
Is the law enforcement academy?
Yes, sir.
And what is y'all's general purpose?
We train students to become peace officers.
In addition to training students to become police officers, is there also continuing education?
Correct. There is additional training for the officers in the surrounding areas to take additional trainings to keep up with their 40 hours per 2 years.
Okay. You said to keep up with their 40 hours. Would you explain that to us?
The officers need to have a requirement of 40 hours every 2 years to keep their licenses activated.
And you and this department help provide that continuing education?
We provide classes for them.
And is there a supervising agency or department that supervises law enforcement training in the government?
I didn't understand.
In other words, do you report your training to somebody?
Yes, sir. We report them to TICO, which is the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement.
And what records do you report to TICO?
We report in-service hours that are trainings that we provide to the officers, and we also report the cadets that complete the course, so they could also be certified officers.
And does TICO require proof of the type of courses being presented?
Yes, sir.
Do they have certain requirements for each course that is presented?
They have the guidelines that we need to follow to be able to provide those courses.
And they approve the course before it's presented, is that correct?
The courses for the BPOC program, the Basic Peace Officer.
Yes, ma'am, and how about continuing education? Do you also report to them on your on your continuing education?
Yes, sir, we report those hours to TICO.
Okay. How is it that you get your people to lecture in this continuing education?
The coordinator assigns an instructor for the class that we're going to be teaching.
And do they have to have certain requirements for TICO to accept them?
Yes, sir.
And tell us what that is.
Well, they have to have a basic peace officer certification to be able to teach a class, and then it's up to the coordinator to decide if they qualify to be able to teach that certain class.
And so tell us what your part in this work is as far as training officers in continuing education. What do you do?
I'm an office manager for this Law Enforcement Academy, and what I do is they tell me what course they're going to have. I need to prepare all paperwork for it, and then I need to be also, when they finish the paperwork, I need to verify that everything is correct and in file, and then the coordinator approves that, and then I report that to TICO.
And does TICO audit your work?
They do.
And so do y'all maintain the records that you have on training, continuing education?
Yes, sir. For in-service training, we need to keep records up to 7 years.
And that's part of the regular course of business for this department, is it not?
Correct.
And is the information provided to you by someone with personal knowledge of the events?
Yes, sir.
And do you also review, as part of your work, maybe ancillary, TICO reports? Or TICO, does TICO keep records of law enforcement officers, is a better way to say it?
TICO keeps record of all. active.
Excuse me?
TCO keeps records of everyone's certification.
Every police officer certification?
Yes.
And that's where you go to find out if somebody is certified or not?
That's, yes.
And if they're a basic police officer or not,
Yes,
as well as their training?
correct.
And you reviewed those kind of reports a
Yes.
number of times?
Yes, sir. If the coordinator says we're gonna have a certain class, he asks me to run their PSR, which is their personal status report. And it indicates all the classes, all their licenses, what they're certified in, and then all the classes they've taken.
And have you done that kind of running the PSR, the personal status report, for Adrian Gonzales?
When I was asked to, yes.
And does Adrian Gonzales, did he train also for your school?
What happens is that the departments sometimes request that we need a certain class, and it's up to the coordinator to say we have the class or not. And in this case, the school district was requesting to have a certain class, and the coordinator said, yes, we're good to have this class. So he gave me the paperwork, said, let's get started. We started posting, and then we started getting all the paperwork ready for that training.
And was the trainer that was selected Adrian Gonzales?
On record, yes.
And do you know Adrian Gonzales?
Yes.
And is he the man sitting at the far end of the defense table?
Yes, sir.
We'll stipulate. Thank you, Your Honor. And so you've talked to me about you gather all of the paperwork for the training, is that
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
And then as training day comes, do you have additional duties?
Just make sure I hand all the paperwork. If it's in-house in the office area, I make sure I give the paperwork to the instructor, or if it's off our area, out of our area, I give that to the coordinator so he can take that over to wherever the training is taking place.
And how do you keep up with who attends the course?
I see the sign-in sheets.
Excuse me?
I see the report of training and the sign-in sheets.
That paperwork is all given back to you as well?
Yes, sir.
And then what do you do with the paperwork?
And then once I check attendance, I check everybody that signed in on the reported training and everybody that signs in on the attendance sheet for the AM and the PM, because if it's an 8-hour training, we do 2 sign-in sheets, one for the morning session, one for the afternoon. So I just verify all the attendance signatures are on all paperwork.
Okay. So is it safe to say that you take care of the paperwork for the continuing education for law enforcement from start to finish?
Correct.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
So I'm showing you exhibits 1027 through 1035. Do you recognize what that document is?
Let me get my other glasses, please. Where do you want me to see?
Can you tell me what that document is?
This is a personal status report, the PSR report for Mr. Adrian Gonzales.
The same man in the courtroom today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
State offers exhibit 1027 through 1035.
We tendered this earlier together.
Yeah, I just did each page.
after speaking with the defense, they would prefer that I offer this as one document. I have no objection to offer it. States Exhibit 1027 as the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement Personnel Status Report.
No objections presented there, Judge.
All right, so the,
May we display that to the jury?
yes,
Starting with page 1, on the top left, this at the top, it shows that this is the personnel status report. Is that correct?
Correct,
And it's for Adrian Gonzales.
correct.
And the next section, could you tell us what career and professional training is?
You're talking about the service history? Where?
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
What is the section, the top section there, career and professional training?
Oh, okay. It just, it says where he received his training hours. It's got institution, it's got Southwest Texas Junior College. He has 83 college credits. The total higher educational hours are 83 hours. And then it says total higher educational points, 1,660 hours. Total military hours is 0, so the total is 1,660 hours.
Okay. So there's a difference between education hours and total higher education points.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just TCOL assigns a number of points to each educational credit hour?
It means that he submitted his college, Southwest Texas College transcript to TCO, and they recorded 83 hours.
Thank you. The next section is service history.
Okay, yes, sir?
And does it indicate how long Adrian Gonzales has been a police officer?
Yes, sir. It indicates when they start, the service started, and when the service ends.
And what was Adrian Gonzales' first work with law enforcement?
He started back in 2010. He started working as a peace officer for the Uvalde Police Department. And the service ended on 7/16/2021. And then he went to work for the school district starting July 19th of 2021 through November 18th of 2022.
And you say the school district, is that the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District Police Department?
Yes, sir.
And so was he working there on May 24th, 2022
Yes, sir.
as a police officer?
Yes.
So how many total years did he have with the Uvalde Police Department?
It shows here with the Uvalde Police Department as 10 years, 10 months.
And with the school district?
1 year, 4 months.
Thank you.
Mhm.
If you'll now go to the second page.
Okay.
Award information, could you tell us what what information is contained in that?
What is contained in that is his level of certification. Whether he's a basic peace officer, intermediate officer, advanced officer, master peace officer license, and the school-based law enforcement officer.
And those certifications that you just read out, Adrian Gonzales has each of those?
Yes, sir.
Not just the basic peace officer, but all the way up to master peace officer?
Correct.
As well as certified as a school-based law enforcement officer?
Correct.
Thank you. And then we have a major section called courses completed.
Mm-hmm.
What are we speaking about here?
That is that's where the officers take all in-service trainings. It starts with the very last training that they've had all the way to the beginning.
So it starts with the most current,
It starts with the most current, yes, sir.
so it kind of goes in reverse order?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
And if you would, could you go down to the bottom of page 2,
Okay.
and could you tell us what course that is?
That is the SBLE Active Shooter Training. that was held on December 17th of 2021.
And how many hours credit did Adrian Gonzales get for taking the active shooter training course in December of 2021?
8 hours.
And was that at your institution?
No, well, we reported it, yes.
Oh, so
But-
this just means you reported it?
Yes, sir. I believe that, yes, that's what it says, Southwest Texas Junior College, LEA.
And that's your group?
Mhm.
Thank you. And on the next page, page 3,
Okay.
at the top, school-based law enforcement training.
Mhm.
Is that also at your,
No, sir.
okay, where was that?
That was taught at the Texas State University Texas School Safety Center.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And then, to finish out 2021, is there a total number of unit hours that he took that year?
Yes, sir.
And how many was that?
101.
Thank you. Going to the bottom of page 3,
Mhm.
are you familiar with who the Middle Rio Grande Law Enforcement Academy is?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell us who that is?
That is us. We used to be called the Middle Rio Grande Law Enforcement Academy, and then we switched our name over to Southwest Texas College Law Enforcement Academy.
Okay. And so, can you tell us course number 2050? I think it's the 4th line from the bottom, what that course is?
2050 is the very first one on that. The SWAT class, other than 3301 or 3310, is that? The class is 2050. That's the course number, 2050.
And what is SWAT?
SWAT stands for, I don't remember,
That's
sorry.
fine, that's fine.
Okay.
How many hours of SWAT training did he get?
He received 60 hours of training.
Thank you. And the next page, about halfway down, I'm looking for course numbers 3305.
Okay?
Do you see those?
Yes, sir.
And could you tell us what the first 3305 states?
It's active shooter response. First class was on 4/13/2018 for 40 hours with the Middle Rio Grande LEA.
And was there a second training for active shooter response?
Yes, sir. There was an active shooter response on February 27th of 2018 at Texas Department of Public Safety, LEA.
And the 3310 just below that?
It's a SWAT in-service training on January 30th of 2018 for 8 hours at the Uvalde Police Department.
And what is in-service training?
In-service is the trainings that we do for the officers.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Going to page number 5.
Okay?
The last two courses that were reported by Adrian Gonzales.
Okay?
Course numbers 3310, could you tell us what those were?
It was a SWAT in-service training on October 22nd, 2015 with the Uvalde Police Department training roster. And then 3310 was also done on SWAT in-service training on 9/15/2015, 8 hours with the Uvalde Police Department training rosters.
Thank you. Turning next to page 7, toward the top. Is there a course entitled 2050?
Yes, sir.
And could you tell us what that was?
That was the SWAT class, SWAT, other than 3301 course or 3310.
And when was it taught?
This was done in November 22 of 2013 for 60 hours with the Middle Rio Grande Law Enforcement Academy.
60 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And page 7, toward the bottom, 4 lines up, I'm looking at course number 3301.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell us what that was?
Yes, sir. Basic SWAT course on October 12 of 2012 for 60 hours by the Middle Rio Grande Law Enforcement Academy.
Thank you. And so then, the last page, page 9, under total hours,
Yes, sir.
there's 2 sections there. Can you tell us what those 2 sections are and for how many hours he was given credit?
Okay, the totals hours were 1,948. It says total career professional hours, 1,660. And then total TCO course hours was 1,948 for a total hour of 3608.
So 1,948 specifically 2 TCO approved courses.
Correct.
And at the bottom, is that the certification to show that TCO issued this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So in addition to Adrian Gonzales taking some classes from y'all, I believe you testified earlier that he also trained for y'all. Is that correct?
He was an instructor in one of our classes, yes.
And did you provide us the paperwork for that class that he trained?
Yes, sir.
And I'll show you State's Exhibit 927 and ask you if this is the instructional lesson plan that Adrian Gonzales provided.
Okay, this was updated by my coordinator. He's the one that composed this together.
Okay, and who was the instructor of this course?
It shows here instructors were Adrian Gonzales and Mike Hernandez.
And that would be the same Adrian Gonzales as the man that's here.
Yes, sir.
And while you're saying, I guess you're saying he didn't create the document, but this is what he taught.
Yes, sir. That document was given to me from my coordinator.
State offers Exhibit 927. It is marked a number of ways, but I'm going to offer this 927.
Your Honor, I take the witness very briefly on board.
Okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name's Gary Hillier. I've got a couple of questions for you.
Yes, sir.
We'll, if I'm speaking too fast, just let me know. I was going to ask you a couple of questions about this document
Yes,
that
sir.
the prosecutor just handed you. Did you get a chance to review it?
I didn't review it right now, but I believe that's the lesson plan objectives for that class.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness very briefly? Yeah, that's correct. Now, in the interest of fairness, I just want to show it to you.
Okay.
Right.
So I think it's been marked as various numbers, but I think the intention is to enter it as 927. Can you
Okay.
understand it?
Sure, not at all, no problem.
So I think, Bill, is that right? We're not doing individual pages?
That's correct.
So it's just been marked as this number. So I believe you said this is a lesson plan, right?
Yes.
So is it your testimony that you had anything to do with putting this together?
I did not put that together.
So you've got, when I say that, I mean putting the information on the pages,
No, that is
Or-
something the coordinator does.
Right, okay, that's what I wanted to, so you've got no personal knowledge of any of the contents of this document,
Correct.
it's just that it exists.
Yes.
In that case, Your Honour, we have no objection to 927 as labelled.
Submitted.
And so just to be clear, this is part of y'all's official business records, correct?
Correct.
Y'all keep these records because it is something that TCO will be auditing,
Yes.
and so you maintain the accuracy of it,
Yes.
and it is presented by people who do have personal knowledge.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to do the same thing and hand you State's Exhibit 927 so you can refer to that.
Okay.
Starting on page 1, if we could, could you tell the jury what the course that Adrian Gonzales taught for y'all?
It was the active shooter for school-based law enforcement, number 2195.
And did he have a co-teacher?
Yes, sir. It was Mike Hernandez.
And how many hours did he train in active shooter?
It doesn't indicate here. It says the course is a limit of 8 hours to 10 hours.
Thank you. And on that same page, does it state what the purpose of the instruction is?
Instruction materials, prerequisites. It does.
And would you tell us what the 6 goals and purposes of the instruction were?
The first goal was history of active shooter events and training requirements, priorities of actions for school-based law enforcement. Number 3 is stop the killing, solo response to active shooter events. Number 4 is unified response. Number 5 is stop the dying, transitioning to first aid and evacuate of the injured. Number 6 is active shooter scenario trainings and evaluations.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And then, can you tell us what the next topic is found on page 2?
This one is, the subject is the active shooter response for school-based law enforcement. It's got the learning objectives to each area that they will be working on.
And the third learning objective is what?
The student will be able to compare, contrast an active shooter event and a hostage or barricade crisis.
And then the 5th learning objective, 2 down?
Is the student will be able to identify expectations of school-based law enforcement officers during an active shooter event.
And the next learning objective?
The student will be able to identify response prioritized during school shootings.
And then the very next one, please.
The student will be able to explain the need to potentially adopt a solo response to an active shooter event.
Thank you. And then from there on, does it talk a lot about tactical operations that are the learning objectives in addition to what you just discussed?
Yes, sir.
Turning to section 1.2, that section being historic active shooting.
What is the first historic active shooting that was discussed?
The student will be able to discuss HB 2195, 86th regular session, and require law enforcement training requirements under the act.
And the next paragraph?
It says,
I have to object. I'm sorry, but one, it's not relevant. Two, this is the wrong witness to be testifying about the contents of this document. She's already said that she has no knowledge of the actual words that are on the page other than she's the person who can prove it up. We have the wrong witness discussing that document. That's my objection.
It's the business records, Your Honor, that we're reviewing, and they've already been approved. We submitted these months ago, and there was no objection to them.
I agree with that.
Contents of those records.
But the witness has already said, Your Honor, that she has no personal knowledge of the contents of the records. The record exists, and that's what this witness is for. This is for the subject of another witness.
And this is reviewing the,
It's in evidence. I'm going to overrule the objection. You can inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. And moving to 1.2, the Columbine High School shooting. And I've asked you to look at the last line just before Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Could you tell us what that says?
the last line before that.
Yes, ma'am.
It says organizations such as the National Tactical Officer Association, which stands for NTOA, and Texas Tactical Police Officers Association, stands for TTPOA, started developing and delivering first responders based response tactics for active shooter situations. Programs like the Rapid Response to Active Shooter from the Alert Center in San Marcos, Texas, grew out of this period.
And if you will move now with me to 1.3.
Okay?
And not the first sentence, just the second sentence. Does it describe what an active shooter event is?
An active shooter event involves one or more persons engaged in killing or attempting to kill people in an area occupied by multiple unrelated individuals.
And the next paragraph, the last sentence before the 2 bullet points.
The number of deaths in the active shooter event is primarily affected by 2 factors.
And what 2 factors are those?
How quickly the police or other armed response arrive and engage them, and how quickly the shooter can find the victims.
Thank you. Turning to the next page then, priority of action.
Okay?
Excuse me, I'm going to go all the way down to 2.2.
Okay?
Is there a section there under 2.2 called priority of life?
Yes, sir.
And would you read that paragraph for us?
Yes. First responders to the active shooter scene will usually be required to place themselves in harm's way and display uncommon acts of courage to save the innocent. First responders must understand and accept the role of protector and be prepared to meet violence with controlled aggression. The priority of life scale is used to guide first responders during the critical decision-making process that is required to effectively neutralize any threats. As first responders, we must recognize that innocent lives must be defended. a first responder unwillingly to place the lives of the innocent above their own safety should consider another career field.
And that came from Adrian Gonzales' training.
This came from this training paperwork. I
And
don't
on the
know.
next page, is there a priority of life scale?
Yes, sir.
And what is that priority of life scale?
Innocent civilians, first responders, and offenders.
And the very next sentence.
Immediate decisive action by the school-based officer can have a dramatic impact on reducing casualties.
Thank you. And the paragraph right after that, it begins with "in the event."
In the event, you want me to read that
Yes,
paragraph?
ma'am, please.
In the event of an active shooter attack, school-based law enforcement officers should do the best that they can to fill the gaps until other first responders can arrive. That will probably mean adopting a solo response to the threat.
Thank you. And without reading all the sentences, there are 3 bold statements, is that correct?
Correct.
Well, could you read the sentence just above it and then state what the 3 bolded words are?
Yes, sir. Officers have 3 primary goals in responding to an active attack on their schools. These goals are isolate, distract, and neutralize.
Thank you. And just a couple more, but on the page 7, 2.3,
Okay.
could you read the first of that sentence, please?
The student will be able to identify responders' priorities during school shooting.
And the next
During officers respond during to an active shooting event, be working during the following priorities during the event.
and the first party,
Stop the killing.
what does it say about the killing?
Officer first priority is to move in and confront the attacker. This must include bypassing the injured and not responding to cries for help from children.
And the next
Stop.
priority,
Stop the dying.
and what does the first sentence say there?
Once the threat has been isolated, distract and or neutralize, they should begin providing medical aid to those most seriously injured.
And the third priority,
Evacuate the injured.
and when do you evacuate the injured?
As soon as the scene can be secure, every effort should be made to quickly evacuate the severely injured to medical facilities where they can be properly treated, where they can get proper treatment.
And finally, Unit 3,
Stop the killing, solo response to active shooter events.
and the first sentence of 3.1.
The student will be able to explain the need to potentially adopt a solo response to an active shooter event.
And finally, the last paragraph on that page.
Time is the number one enemy during the active shooter response. The short duration and high casualty rates produced by these events require immediate response to reduce the loss of life. In many cases, The immediate response means a single solo officer response until such time as others can the best hope that innocent victims have in that officer's immediate move into action to isolate, distract, or neutralize the threat, even if that means one officer acting alone.
Thank you. And from there, we move into muzzle discipline and tactics. Is that correct?
Correct.
Pass the witness.
Mayor,
Proceed.
Hi again, Matt, it's me again.
Okay.
Have you ever testified in a trial like this before?
Never.
Have you testified in court before?
Never.
You haven't? Okay. And how are you feeling right now?
Okay. A little nervous, but okay.
No, that's understandable, and you're doing good. Again, my name's Gary Hillier. I've got a couple of questions for you, okay?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to have to ask you a couple more because of some of the things that I objected to and the prosecutor asked you. But so
Okay.
I'm going to start generally with your role,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Right? And if I'm speaking too fast or you don't understand me, please say, Gary, hold on, and I'll slow down
Okay.
because I've got a habit to do that. All right. So you've been employed at Southwest Texas College of Law Enforcement Academy
Yes, sir.
right now.
Yes, sir.
And because on the records, some of the evidence has gone back to jury, it's got different names in it. So that was formerly Middle Rio Grande Law Enforcement Academy.
Correct.
So when we see those two names, Bill, is the exhibit up there, by the way? The exhibit up there? Yeah. May I approach the exhibit, Judge, and just retrieve it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm just going to come and grab the first. This is what I'm going to talk about, then we'll be
Okay.
in a second. So when the jury sees those two notations for this learning institute, it's the same thing.
It's, yes.
It just changed its name.
We changed our name. Yes, sir.
I mean, like, is there a reason it changed its name? Or?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. So either way, so your role, I believe that you said, is so you're the office manager for the Law Enforcement Academy, right?
Correct.
And so basically, you are the person who is in charge of the records.
Correct.
And so, like I said, that's you don't know the contents of these lesson plans.
Correct.
You can read them if the prosecutor asks you to.
Yes.
But you're not testifying to say you have any knowledge of the subject matter in here.
Right.
Similarly, you've got no knowledge of any of these classes that are in this TCOL report.
But other than numbers and titles, that's it.
That's what I mean. Other than the title, and TCOL is the Texas College of Law Enforcement, Texas Commission of Law Enforcement, right?
Correct.
And that collates for the whole state any training that a police officer does
Yes.
that's reported.
Yes.
There's a section on it, and the jury can see it because it will go back with them. It says any awards.
If they get awarded a certain certification, yes.
Yeah.
They're the ones that.
And have you ever seen you've seen a lot of TCOL reports before?
Yes.
Have you ever seen any with disciplinary action on them?
No.
But
I don't remember.
But if an officer is disciplined, it can go on the TCOL report.
It will. It should go
Right,
on there.
and you reviewed Adrian's?
Time back.
Judge, I'll approach the witness again.
Right
ma'am.
now.
I'm going to give you the
Okay.
exhibit back. I don't know that you have that. You see, there's no. You'd agree with me. There's no record of Adrian having been disciplined for anything in his TCOL report.
There's no record on there. I don't see one. It usually says not in compliance if they don't do their additional training hours.
So he's obviously in compliance with his training hours. It looks like that he has a lot of hours, and of course that report goes back over a decade, right?
I don't know how far it goes. It goes as far as when he started with his
Yeah.
license.
So I mean, obviously this incident happened in 2022, and the record I believe goes back to testified back to 2012.
This record goes back all the way to December 7th of 2029 when he completed the academy.
When what 2029 or 2009?
I'm sorry, 12/7/2009.
So it goes back even further than 10 years. Is that right? That's the point I was making. So that is a record of any training that Adrian has ever done as a police officer that is reported.
Correct.
And the reason for that is, of course, as you said, a police officer, to keep their certification, has to do a certain amount of hours every 2 years.
Correct.
Right, and I think it's 40 hours you testified to.
Yes.
Right, so you're not here to testify to the jury. You weren't present during any of this training.
Correct.
No. You can't testify to the quality of that training.
Correct.
You can't testify to its content.
Other than the paperwork that I received, but that's it.
No, and some of that, you'd agree, some of that training on that TICO report was possibly done online, right?
I don't know how the coordinator got it.
But it's possible, right?
I don't know. I don't know if it was done by another instructor or the coordinator or what.
Because not all the courses on there are done from your agency.
Right.
So there are other. So someone does a class that your agency is involved in, your law enforcement agency or academy is involved in, right? And you collate all the paperwork to do with that, like you testified, correct?
What is given to me? Yes.
And then you check that it's correct, and you talk to the coordinator, and if it's correct, you then submit it to TICO.
Once I check the paperwork that's returned back to me with signatures and all that information, yes.
Yeah, once it's correct. So for your academy, once it's correct, you report it to TICO.
Correct.
So the point I'm trying to make is that other agencies do training for law enforcement officers, right?
Yes, there's all over Texas.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've looked at some of them, right, on the TICO report that we've got there, and they're in control of their own curriculum and course content as well, similar to your agency, right?
Yes.
So I'm saying, are you aware that some of these classes, they get given code names? The prosecutor kept saying, course number 2050, what is that? That these other agencies or institutions will put training on for students that is done online. Are you aware of that?
Some of these trainings must be done in person, and some can be done online.
Right, okay. So I wanted to talk to you very briefly about how a person gets to be an instructor for one of these classes.
In order to be an instructor, to teach a class for us, they have to have a basic instructor certification.
Right, and so precisely, so that comes from TICO itself.
Yes, that is a class that they take. It's a 40-hour class, number 1014, and then they submit that information and require and get a certification for that.
Yeah, and that is a certification, that's a general certification just to teach other adults who are police officers, right?
Correct.
That doesn't mean that you are a subject matter expert in something you're teaching, right? It just means that you have taken the TICO authorized class in teaching.
To teach classes,
To
yes.
teach at any class.
I don't know about any class. The coordinator's the one that says he's qualified to teach a certain class. I don't.
And let's talk about that, because that I wanted to talk to you about the coordinator, because you said the coordinator a couple of times. Now the coordinator is in your agency, right?
Yes.
So, because we've got two things going on here. We've got the training that's done through your law enforcement academy and other training that gets reported to TICO.
Right.
So just to straighten that out. So in order for a police officer to be able to teach a TICO sanctioned or authorized class, they have to do the TICO 40-hour instruction class.
Correct.
And we've already had some testimony before the jury. It's almost like train the trainer, teach the teacher, right? And it's like, this is how you make pancakes. And this is so you then can teach people to do things.
Correct.
Right? And that could be teaching an officer about investigating sexual assault, right?
Right.
Could also be about reporting a crime,
Correct.
right? And it could also be at the other scale, firearms tactics. That's what we've got here. But by value of nature of having done that 40-hour TICO instructors class, that just means that you are qualified to facilitate classes for TICO. That's all that means, right?
Right.
And then going on from that, in your institution, because that's what you've got knowledge of, right? The coordinator is the person who decides if an instructor has the qualifications to teach a specific class.
Correct.
Right. And in this case, we've pointed out there's a couple of notations in there that Adrian has taught some active shooter classes for your academy. So I don't think you mentioned, who is the coordinator in your organisation?
We have a different coordinator at the moment that this class was taught. This was updated by Mr. Johnny Field. He was our coordinator back in 21.
So Johnny Field, do you know who's working now?
He's working at the Uvalde County Sheriff's Office.
He's not the constable.
He's not a constable anymore.
He was the constable.
He
right?
was a constable.
So your testimony is that, going on from what the prosecutor said, that Johnny Field, who used to be the constable, was your training coordinator.
He was also my academy coordinator.
And Constable Field also taught classes for your academy, right?
Correct.
He didn't teach this one with Adrian, but he's taught others with Adrian.
I don't know about that, but I know that he oversaw this class.
All right, and so so it would be, because again, I know it's not you, right? It's Constable Field who was doing another role for the agency. Your academy would see whether or not this person has the prior requisites to be able to teach this class.
Right.
So a lot of that is based on Mr. Field or Constable Field or Deputy Field's judgment and decision making, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you have no idea whether Adrian was qualified to teach these classes or not. Constable Field said he was, so he got a chance to do it.
Yes, sir.
All right. And I appreciate you clearing that up. So, and these, I'm going to, very briefly, we'll finish with the TCOL thing, then we're going to go on to the next exhibit.
Okay.
And so what we're looking at is the PSR. It's called a personal status report, right?
Yes, sir.
And that is it. So that if it's not on that PSR, it didn't happen for that officer.
Correct.
Right? So if they've had training that is authorised by any law enforcement academy or agency in Texas, it goes on that report.
Correct.
Right. So if it's not on that report, it didn't happen.
Correct.
Because the prosecutor made you read something out from. May I approach the witness to retrieve? It's 927.
Yes.
Actually, 927. If I may, ma'am.
So right here. Okay.
Just if I may inquire, so Mr. Turner asked you to read some things out. And we're going to visit about it in a second. So the prosecutor, I'm going to draw your attention to page 3 of State's Exhibit 927. I'm sorry to make you do this again, but I'm going to ask you to read a couple of things out, if I may, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to read, and I think Mr. Turner asked you to read this out. I'm going to ask you to read, and I'm pointing your attention to the bottom of page 3, the last sentence of 1.2, which discusses the incident at Columbine High School. If you could just read that last sentence out.
Okay. It says programs like the Rapid Response to Active Shooter from the Alert Center in San Marcos, Texas, grew out of this period.
Right, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm going to leave you with this because I would like you to have a look at the Adrian's PSR, which is his very detailed training record. So, alert, are you aware that stands for Advanced Law Enforcement Rapid Response Training?
Yes, sir.
You'd agree with me that there is nowhere on Adrian's training record that he ever had any training from Alert?
I'm looking at the list of classes that he has taken. No, sir, I don't see another class in here.
We don't see an alert class in there. That's because, and again, like we said, I know I've asked this already, if a police officer, a licensed police officer, has training, it gets put on that record.
Correct.
If it's not on that record, that means that someone hasn't had that training.
That's what it indicates.
So we can conclude and we can say to this jury here today that Adrian has never had any training from the alert centre in San Marcos or any alert training according to his record, right?
Yes, sir.
So you'd agree with me, if anyone was to judge him by alert standards, that would be inappropriate, right?
If anybody, what, I'm sorry?
Judges him by alert standards, that would be inappropriate because he hasn't had any training.
Correct.
Right, thank you. So, I want to move on to, and I think I might have left the exhibit up there. If may I approach again, Judge, I want to inquire about an exhibit.
We've made a blanket rule for this trial. If you want to approach, you want to use the well, just do it.
Thank you, Judge. And I'm going to come up there, ma'am, and I'm going to talk to you about the next document. And again, it's, I'm going to talk to you about State's Exhibit 927, right? And we've already, that is an instructor lesson plan that was prepared by someone in your agency, correct?
No, I don't know who that person is.
But it was updated by Mr. Field,
Yes.
Constable Field, right?
Yes.
So this lesson plan and these documents and these materials are provided to an instructor to facilitate to a class, right?
Correct.
Right, and so in this case, I mean, we've already established that Adrian Gonzales and Mike Hernandez facilitated this class,
Correct.
an 8-hour class.
Yes.
And that would be to fellow law enforcement officers who are school-based, right?
Yes, it says active shooter for school-based law enforcement.
Yeah, and so if Adrian wasn't, let's pretend for 1 minute that, example, let's say I was instructing this class, these materials would be provided to me if I was a peace officer and I was chosen to do it. I would be facilitating the same materials.
Correct.
It's not my materials
Right, it's what was provided.
by Constable Field. And you know, you read some things out, and I'm going to leave you with that and then ask you to work from my notes. The prosecutor asked you to read some things out to the jury, right?
Yes.
And again, we've already established you're not a firearms instructor.
Right,
You're not a peace officer.
right,
You haven't been trained in rapid response
right,
or active shooter training.
right.
But the prosecutor's asked you to read a couple of things, so I'm going to do likewise. Is that okay, ma'am?
Okay, yes,
I
sir.
appreciate your help. So, on page 1,
Mm-hmm.
it says the goal, purpose, and instruction, right?
Yes.
And it goes through units. If you read the units out for me again, please, if you would mind.
Unit 1 was history of active shooter events and training requirement. Number 2 is priorities of active for school-based law enforcement. Of action, for school-based law enforcement. Unit 3 is stop the killing, solo response to active shooter event. Unit 4 is unified response. Number 5 is stop the dying, transitioning to first aid and evacuation of injured. Unit 6 is active shooter scenario training and evacuation.
Thank you, ma'am. And I promise you I'm not going to make you read the whole document out. There's like 15 pages, right? But I'm going to focus on a couple of things. If we turn the page over, we see that it says lesson objectives, and then we're going to go into it later on, whether or not those objectives can be met by the materials provided.
Okay.
But if we look at the objectives, and don't read it yet, because otherwise you'll lose your voice, because there's a lot of it. So can you count down to the 7th learning objective?
Okay. The student will be able to explain the need.
That's the one. Can you read that out for us?
Yes,
please?
the student will be able to explain the need to potentially adopt a solo response to an active shooter event.
Correct. Thank you, ma'am. So now, and you don't know how that is done, right, in the
Correct.
training, but the learning objective So the objective to be filled at the end of this training is for a student to be able to explain something, right?
Correct.
All they've got to be able to do to pass this class according to that learning objective is to be explaining the need to do a thing, right? It does not say that they have to be proficient in a tactical skill.
Right.
It doesn't, does it?
No.
So to pass this class, a student just has to be able to say, the learning of the aim is this, not be able to demonstrate how to do this, because you've reviewed that document, right, ma'am?
Right.
You'd agree with me that nowhere in that document does it tell an officer how to do that.
It just says, will be able to explain the need to potentially adopt a solo response to an active shooter.
I know, and I feel unfair asking you this question because it's not your document, but the prosecutor asked you, but you would agree with me that having reviewed that document, these training materials don't explain to an officer how to do that.
I don't know what,
And that's
if
fair
they
enough.
have, I don't know how it's explained or if it's explained.
Yeah, I'm going to represent you, it doesn't. Okay. But I want to turn over to page 6, because there's also things that weren't read out. I mean, this is a long document, all right? Page 6, the top of it. Can you read the first line, please? It's talking about the scale, and I'm sorry, it's talking about if I set the scene, it's talking about the scale and priority of life.
Okay.
Just read the first line.
The scale does not suggest that any first responder approach the mission will with recklessness abandon for safety.
Right. And then if we can go down, you'd agree with me, I'll read it for you. Under the priority of life, before isolate, distract and neutralize, there's a paragraph there. Can you read the first sentence of that last paragraph before it says officers have 3 primary goals?
Let me see real quick. It's the last sentence.
Yes, ma'am. And Judge, I'll approach it to be easier. So I can identify it. Try not to read over the shoulder.
Oh, this one? Okay. In the event of an active shooter attack, school-based law enforcement officers should do the best that they can to fill the gaps until other first responders can arrive.
Right, and they should do the best they can to fill the gap until the first responders arrive.
That's what
That's
it
the
says.
training, right?
That's what it says, yes.
And again, the jury's heard a lot about it, but these are the training materials, right? Where it says isolate and distract, right? The first word of distract says engage the attacker.
Engage the attacker.
Right. It doesn't say how.
Right,
You'd agree with me on that?
right.
And presumably, in order to engage an attacker, you've got to be able to see it.
Right.
If you turn over the page to page 7.
Okay.
And it says, well, it says stop the killing. Can you read that first sentence?
This one? Okay. Officer's first priority is to move in and confront the attacker.
Okay. Right. Again, it doesn't say how.
No.
No. Well, I represent to you that Mr. Gonzales did in fact that. He moved into the school.
You're asking me?
No, I'm just telling you.
Oh, okay.
And again,
Well, I'm going to object to sidebar comment, Your Honor. He said it's not a question.
Mr. Stein?
I'm going to move on to Unit 3 further down. Again, and we may have already covered this. Can you read 3.1 out?
The student will be able to explain the need to potentially adopt a solo response to an active shooter event.
Now, and these are the training materials, right? This is it.
This is lesson plan, yes.
It does not go on to explain how that should be done. You'd agree with me on that, ma'am?
I don't know what all this has in there.
I know.
So-
I'm sorry to talk over your shoulder, it's just so I can see it, but
Okay.
the prosecutor got you to read things out, and so I'm just doing the same thing, right, in the interest of fairness for Adrian, right? And I'm going to ask you, the last thing I'm going to ask you to read
is the paragraph here. The prosecutor didn't ask you to read that. Can I ask you to read that from the mouth?
Yes. Most response to active shooter training has been based on team tactics that normally leverage 4 or more officers operating as a cohesive unit to search for and neutralize the threats. Training historically involves forming a diamond or a T formation to rapidly advance towards the sound of the gunfire. The tactics and techniques have a great deal of value when the resources to use them are immediately available. It is obviously safer to deploy teams with overlapping areas of responsibilities. More eyes and more guns pointed at the problem would be preferable.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is State's Exhibit 950, is that the flyer that went along with this training?
Yes, sir.
And does it have, the state offers Exhibit 950?
No objection, Your Honor.
Submitted.
So what date was this active shooter for school-based law enforcement? What date was that taught by Adrian Gonzales?
The date here says March 21st of 2022. It's from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
March 21st, 2022,
Yes,
2 months before May 24th,
yes,
2022.
correct.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
You're going to need to retrieve the exhibit. Ma'am, I've got a couple more questions for you, if I may.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. It's up there. So, we do it,
That one is right there.
So I want to ask you some questions about this one, ma'am, 950. So this was a prosecutor just pointed out. I can sit down and we can look at the TV behind you. This was a class that was from May of 2022.
This
March,
was
sorry, I apologise. It's
March.
March
Yes.
2022. And if you turn around and look at the screen,
Okay,
we can look at it.
okay.
This was a class that was taught at the Uvalde High School, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you know if any classes or training was ever conducted for law enforcement at Robb Elementary, the elementary school?
I don't recall.
It wasn't. Thank you, ma'am. We've got no further questions.
Okay, is she excused?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am, you are excused, now subject to recall. Please don't discuss the case till you're aware the trial is over.
Okay,
You're
sir.
done today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next witness.
Rick Gerardo?